All right, so I've spoken a lot about the Wright turbine over the past few videos. And while that's really good, we're starting with the Wright fan in terms of the first generation product that we're launching in 2025. That's actually happening and it's being kicked off with my trip that actually starts in China in January. It's January 8th through the 13th. So for this particular video, I'm actually going to talk about the Wright fan, our product, our first generation product that we're launching, and then also our pilot that we're doing with 4 pilot customers. So here's our product, the Wright fan. We have an energy efficiency when it comes to our particular fan model. And these are the stats. You can actually see them on the Wright fan website, wrightfan.com. I won't go too much into detail about it because seems rudimentary. I've spoken a lot about it. So when we set up this pilot, there's going to be 600 units per pilot customer for 4 pilot customers. So 2,400 units in total, and it's called a half crate. So half the crate is going to be Wright fan, half the crate is going to be a standard CPU cooling fan that you see out in the market today. Let's just call them the control group. So with these technicians that are actually collecting these metrics, there's 2 different ways that we're collecting metrics. There's the manual method, which is going to be directly from the technician. And then there's the program statistics, which Wright One has access to 24/7. So we'll be monitoring those statistics and we'll be collecting them on a pretty good timeline. So again, with the manual metrics that are being collected, you're just going to say the installation date. This is all going to be done through a Google Sheet that actually is shared with the pilot customer at the time that's necessary and then collected over time. This is all part of the contract that the pilot customers have signed already. And yeah, that's how we're moving forward. We want to see the CFM and see if there's any degradation in the fan as compared to the competitors' fans. So you can actually see that taking place with the program statistics that are collected on the right-hand side. There's the CFM for the week, for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and then 2 months. There's also the specific downtime for a particular fan. We're expecting that the Wright One fan is better in terms of not only downtime or reduction in downtime, but also maintenance time in terms of actually having to replace one fan over another fan. So not only are we actually better in terms of our failure rate as compared to the market accepted failure rate at 22%, we're also quicker in terms of replacing failed components with our rapid replacement system. So here's the pilot process. We're expecting the pilot to be 6 months in total, but we want our pilot customers to be making a decision at about month 3, whether they're going to be doing a purchase or not. So if the customer doesn't say, yes, we want to keep the fans and move forward with a pricing schematic, so there's 2 different pricing methods, and I'll get to that in a second, then we want to actually pull the hardware units from that pilot customer and send it to another pilot customer, just so that we can actually get additional data and understand from that pilot customer why they're not proceeding forward. At the very beginning, the pilot customer is going to be doing an escrow of $17 per fan. And this $17 is going to get deducted from the final price. However, if the pilot customer doesn't want the product after the 3 months, then we will reimburse the $17 on delivery of the hardware products from the pilot. So these are the specific milestones that Wright One has for our pilot program. We are going to have 100 soft tooling samples, which is just basically those are for us. We're putting those through destructive testing for reliability data. And we'll be able to actually share that data with the pilot customers before we actually send the units out to the pilots as well. By September 1st, we're going to have 2,400 units delivered to the pilot customers. So that means that 600 units are going to four different customers each. So 600, 600, 600, 600. And we're also anticipating that during this pilot, during the 6-month long pilot, that at least 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 of these fans are going to fail. We hope so. Because then we can actually bring them back, understand what the failure mode is, and then start to understand the product as a service and the warranty through our Bridgeport operations. So we'll clean the fans, we'll reduce, reuse, refurbish, instead of actually remanufacturing additional components. And then, the completion of the 6-month pilot, and there we go. We're off to the races. I can't tell you how excited I am about that. So here's the business model for the Wright Fan. At the very beginning, it's a $17 initial setup fee for the customer. And with every single fan, it's $5.30 per year with Wright One covering the rotor replacement costs. So that means that we've got 3 separate modules, and I'm just going to go through that video here after this particular slide, because then you can actually see the replacement process as it takes place. All right, so here we go. As promised, we have the rotor that's been taken off. Here's a portion of the electromagnetic motor that also gets taken off. So it's 3 separate modules in total. There's the fan casing, there's this particular portion of the electric motor, and then there's the rotor itself. And all of that could be done in under 35 seconds with the stopwatch. Boom. The fan itself, in terms of the statistics that we believe at this current moment in time, remember, we don't have the reliability data yet. That's what the first 100 fans are for, is 70,000 hours at 25 degrees Celsius. So not only are we testing the fan at 25 degrees Celsius, which is optimal conditions, we're also doing accelerated mean time to failure modes as well. So increase in humidity, temperature, decrease in temperature, and understanding the limitations of our fan system. The payback period for the customer is under 24 months. With these conditions, they're listed right here. If you have a greater than 22% failure rate, you're going to get a substantial payback period, or a substantially better payback period. And then if your energy efficiency is greater than 42 watts with a 267 cubic feet per minute airflow rate, we can also compete there as well. So again, here's some benchmark data as compared to our competitors. These Martech, Nidec, and Nidec, this is actually taken from Zeus Mining. Zeus Mining is the competitor that I see as the best unit cost. Remember that these costs are actually per fan. So the Martech, Nidec, this is what's listed on their website as a minimum order quantity of 10 fans. Remember, the Wright Fan is per fan, not 10 fans. And for the average prices per fan, the low volume, 464, that's 10 fans. Mid volume, 335, that's 1,000 fans. And then high volume, 283, that is 10,000 fans. With each one of these fan systems, not only is it going to take you 3 minutes to replace each fan as it fails, you're also anticipating these fans to fail within 6 to 12 months, which is also the variable CapEx cost. And for Wright Fan, it is only $5.30, no matter how many times you replace the rotor. That's everything in regards to the Wright Fan.